Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Mocktail Minutes. This is Bailey.
And this is Brianna.
This week, we have a special guest. Before we get there, we will share our mocktails we are having. So I am just doing LMNT today. I do, like I said in the previous episode, half a packet, and I'm trying the citrus salt one. I do like it. It's pretty good.
I just have water with the trace mineral drops and a little bit of pomegranate juice. I didn't get anything this week when I went to the store. I went to the store early this week, but I didn't get anything. So I'm just keeping it simple.
Yeah. See, I have several options of like fun mocktails at home, but I forget to bring them to work where I'm recording, so it really doesn't help. Do the trace minerals have like a taste to them when you add them?
Only if you add it to like a little bit of water. So it kind of has a tiny bit of a salty taste, similar to the adrenal cocktail, but nothing that strong. But if you add it to a whole Stanley or even half a Stanley, you can't taste them.
Okay, good to know. So, like I said, we do have a special guest today, Elle. She is one of our fellow Metabolism Makeover coaches. If you follow the Metabolism Makeover account, you get to see her face all the time. So she's going to chat with us today about fast food options, living on the go. Before we get there, Elle, do you want to introduce yourself?
I would love to. First of all, so happy to be here and chat with you guys. We work behind the scenes all the time. I'm Metabolism Makeover, so of course I'd love to chat with you here. Yeah, like Bailey said, my name's Elle. You can see my face on the Instagram doing who knows what shenanigans on the Metabolism Makeover Instagram. Yeah, I love hanging out over there. And then I do a lot of one-on-one coaching for Metabolism Makeover as well. And I've been a dietitian for, 5.5 years. So yeah, I love my job right now. It's great. I've had jobs I don't love as a dietitian too. So
what did you do before Metabolism Makeover?
The job right before this, I was a diabetes educator at a local hospital. And I liked being a diabetes educator, but I didn't love going into work and working a fixed number of hours and having a really high client load. It was just very stressful, if you can imagine.
Yeah.
So, and then before that, I did other things like long-term care. So like working with the geriatric population, and it was a good starting position, but it wasn't my dream job as a dietitian.
Yeah, and for those of you who don't know, all three of us actually started with Metabolism Makeover at the same round. So, fun fact.
Seems like forever ago.
It really does. Metabolism Makeover is just part of my identity now, I think.
I think especially for Bailey and I, because we started as interns. We were dietetic interns, and so, Metabolism Makeover kind of took a chance on us. And so now I'm just like, I'm here to party.
It was, I guess, my first dietitian job, really.
We joined together to learn how to teach it. I was super last minute to join. There was one opening, and I filled out the application on a whim, and it was very unplanned. So I think that's really funny now.
Yes, and we kind of talked about in our episode with Megan how unplanned mine was to get into Club MM, and I had talked to her I think for 2 hours on a Zoom call before I joined about, should I do this, should I not? I'm just an intern, do I even matter? Does anyone care what I say as a dietitian? She's like, no, yeah, this is for you. I was like, okay, if you say so.
Yeah. I filled out the application being like, they're not gonna look at this, so whatever, it's fine. And then I got an email, and I was like, oh, okay, I guess I'm hopping on a call, still being like, yeah, she's not gonna hire me. It's not gonna be a thing. She's not gonna bring me on. And then here we are.
You made the cut. We all did. All right. So today, like I said, we're gonna discuss fast food options. With that being said, we know fast food is not the top tier choice of everything. And to be quite honest, I don't eat top tier every single day. Maybe some days it's a B-, and that's okay. And I think really my idea with this topic was just to give you some grace, some insight of we can just make life work, and it doesn't have to be as complicated as we feel like it needs to be. I don't know. Does that make sense to you guys?
Yeah. I think most of my clients or just people I, talk to on a regular basis, when they think of fast food or convenience food, it's it's all or nothing with it. Right. So I was excited to talk about this topic because it totally doesn't have to. It doesn't have to be all or nothing. And I think you can still feel pretty decent eating fast food, believe it or not, even convenience food, not on an everyday basis, but when life happens, because it will,
Yeah. I think it's a good thing too, to know how to navigate this, because a lot of times people do have that all or nothing thinking, and then life does happen and suddenly you're needing to make a choice on a whim, or like go to fast food and you just like don't know what to choose. And a lot of times I think it kind of hurts people's goals and progress just because they simply don't know what to grab, and then it feels overwhelming.
And then I feel like it can go two different ways, where it's either we just say, well, who cares, and we eat a meal that really does not make us feel good, and then it just goes out of control the rest of the week. Or it goes where, okay, we're just not going to eat anything at all because it's not the ideal meal.
I think with conversations with clients, they'll say something along the lines of, well, my only option was fast food. And so sometimes it's like they'll have the fast food, but then they wonder, what it would have been better if I just didn't have anything at all. And I'm like, oh my gosh, no. You definitely, even if it's not the most ideal meal, nourishment is always better than no nourishment, even if it's something that's less than ideal, something that's not going to balance your blood sugar. Because at the end of the day, your body still knows what to do with that fuel.
I think that's one of the things that people are most shocked about when they ask me, like, my only option is McDonald's. Should I just not eat anything? And I'm like, no, you need to choose McDonald's, and like, let's do a good option there rather than you going 5, 6, 7 hours without eating anything. Like that's not going to be a good option for you.
Because then you get home and you're starving, and then you just raid the pantry. So I'm like, at this point, it would have been better just to get your McDonald's burger and apple slices.
Yeah. So I guess, what is your top 3 tips for keeping fast food PHFF? Like if someone's like, okay, I am going to have to do fast food this week, or like, what do I do? What are like 3 things that you tell them?
So first thing is always protein, right? Like what's a solid protein source? So when I think of, man, Chipotle is just always a go-to, right? So for me, if that means I need to ask for double chicken, because I usually get chicken there, then I'm going to do that, even if it costs me a couple extra bucks, because I know it's going to keep me more full and satisfied longer. If I think of other restaurants, Chick-fil-A, if that means that I need a 12-piece nugget instead of 8, then I'm going to do that. I need a solid source of protein. The second thing is, how can we add, if possible, this might mean being a little creative, doing something you might not normally do, is how can we add some color or fiber? How can we add some micronutrients / fiber, again, to help with satisfaction, but to also just add to the nutrient value of the meal, even if it's less than ideal. So for me, some hacks, thinking about good old Chipotle, is I love to add the fajita veggies. We're adding some color, we're adding some micronutrients, we're adding some fiber. When I think of Chick-fil-A, having a side salad from Chick-fil-A, they are actually super delicious. That's super easy. Other fast food, there really might not be anything to add color or fiber, and so it's fine, right? Like you can deal with the cards that are dealt with you. So if you're able to get a solid source of protein, you're already winning there. And then my third thing is thinking about the starchy carb game plan. And I think there's going to be some meals where starchy carbs are going to be higher and it's not going to be as blood sugar friendly, and that's okay. But if the fast food convenience food is something that's a consistent thing in your life and you want to be goal supportive, then I would have the conversation with yourself of, what am I going to do for starchy carb? Like, do I have to have all of these starchy carbs at this meal? So when I think of Chipotle, do you need a tortilla and rice and beans and chips? Like, there's going to be sometimes you go to Chipotle, and me too. I'm going to go there and I'm not going to worry about these things, because I know if I have a really high carb meal once a month, I know that it's consistency over perfection. But if I'm hitting up Chipotle once or more a week, then I'm going to want to have starchy carbs that are a little bit more goal supportive. So for me, I know that I love to have beans in my bowl and I love to have some chips on the side. So I don't care that much about the tortilla, and I don't really care about the rice every time. And so being a little bit more strategic with starchy carbs helps me keep my blood sugar a little bit more balanced. When I think about other restaurants, let's go back to Chick-fil-A. I'm thinking, okay, do I need the bun? Maybe not. Maybe I'll just do the grilled nuggets. Maybe I know that I love the fries and I'm going to get fries, so I'll get grilled nuggets this time. And so just making those swaps. So all in all, high protein. How can we add fiber or color? And how can we be a little bit more strategic with starchy carb, but not stressing about perfection?
I like the idea of being strategic because then it allows you to still have like the foods that you love. Like me, I feel like Chipotle and Chick-fil-A are my go-tos as well. I know if I'm going to Chick-fil-A, I'm getting fries. Like, and so for me, it's very simple to be like, okay, I don't need the bun. I actually really love their grilled nuggets. Like, I'll get some salad, some grilled nuggets, and some fries. And then I feel fulfilled, but I also know that I made like a goal supportive decision. And I think it's hard for people to feel okay with that. It's hard for people to be like, oh my God, I got fries. Like, what am I doing? It's like, yeah, but you still need carbs, you know?
Yeah.
It's like, let's be strategic about it.
Right. And when you think about it, fries they're potatoes. Like if you think of a potato, it's actually so nutrient dense and so good for you. I think we've just demonized like, oh, French fries are so bad. And yeah, they might be cooked in less than ideal oils. But again, you're making the best choice you can with the situation.
And with being strategic, just because you're not having a bun today doesn't mean you can't have a bun the next time you go. It doesn't have to be this black and white picture. Just learning to be like, okay, what do I truly want today? What's going to help me feel really good? And sometimes, yeah, I get a burger and fries because I really just want a burger and fries. And, that's fine. We just got to move on and decide what's the next best thing we can do. But then most of the time, if we are going out to like bar food, it looks like a burger and a salad because I prefer the bun over fries. Maybe I'll steal like 2 fries from Josh, but just finding that balance and realizing too that just because we have these favorite foods, these favorite restaurants, doesn't mean every time we have to have them. My favorite food is waffles, for example. That doesn't mean I have waffles every single day for breakfast, but they're still my favorite food.
Yeah, right. You don't have to give it up. I think you brought up another good point about sometimes it'll be lacking color or like lacking fiber. I think people get really caught up in that. Something I like to tell clients is not every meal is going to be perfect. Like try to make it PHFF as much as possible, but at the end of the day, you're not going to be able to control everything. Instead of getting really caught up on it and being like, oh my gosh, I ate that. I shouldn't have ate it. I shouldn't have ate it. Look at what maybe that meal was lacking and add it to your next meal. Can you have like a super high fiber, like colorful dinner? Do it. Because in the grand scheme of things, that's all that really matters rather than being like, oh my gosh, I screwed up. I went to Chick-fil-A. I overindulged and now the day is just over and like dinner's out the window too.
I think we all kind of talk about this with our clients is not dwelling so much on, okay, I had fast food, I had whatever it was, and okay, it happened. Now what's my next best choice? How can I nourish myself? And just like constantly thinking, again, what's my next best choice and moving forward instead of dwelling on rear view mirror. Why is that hard to say? Rear view mirror of, oh crap, I didn't have a vegetable at whatever meal because like you were saying, Brianna, you don't have to have a vegetable at every meal to be healthy.
Exactly. And I also like what you said, like our body just sees nutrients. Like we have this thing that like, oh, we had bad food today and my body just knows that it's bad and I've been bad when in reality, your body just sees what nutrients, macronutrients, micronutrients you put into it. And it knows what to do with that. And you get something from quote unquote bad food. This is something I tell clients too. Your body is getting benefits from bad food. Like it's in our heads that it's bad.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
When you say that, it reminds me, it would have been elementary school, but I still think of this to this day because you reminded me of it. I had we were talking about nutrition in PE class or something related to that. And I remember my teacher saying that, oh, if you have like a bucket of popcorn at the movie theater, but you drown it in butter, then any benefits from the popcorn, like the fiber or any nutrients from it, then they're canceled out from the butter. And I always thought that growing up, that if like you topped your vegetables with like a cheese sauce, or if you dipped it in ranch, or if you did something like quote unquote bad to it, that it canceled out the nutrients, when that's so false. And I think I had to do a lot of unlearning with that as I grew up, kind of before I became a dietitian. But I'm sure a lot of people also think along those lines.
I would almost guarantee that most people do.
Yeah. I thought that too. Especially, I feel like there was an era, I want to say, maybe I was in middle school, I would say more high school age, when the Eat This, Not That books were super popular. So then it was like everything you ate was turning bad. And really, if we look anywhere, it's almost like someone is saying some type of food is bad. I mean, there's people on TikTok saying not to eat blueberries. And I'm like, eat the blueberry. Like,
Please eat blueberries. There's no reason not to. Yeah, but it's true. And then it's people get so overwhelmed with this information that it's just like, oh my gosh, fast food, convenient food is always going to be associated with bad. And I'm just doing bad to my body and I shouldn't eat it. And then people are going without eating all day because they didn't have any good options. That's not great for you either. So
maybe just, I would say it was finding the lesser evil. And that's why, kind of how we talked about at the beginning, I'd rather you eat the McDonald's burger than not eat at all. But then we also have to think about, should we be doing it every day, every meal? Probably not. You probably won't feel good anyways. But again, if we're just doing it every once in a while, and then on the other part of our lives, we're learning how to incorporate more whole foods, more color, we're on a great track. And even thinking about like the ranch or adding cheese sauce to our vegetables, is ranch the best high quality sauce? No, probably not. There's other options. But if you really like ranch and now you're going to eat a cup of carrots because you had some ranch to dip it in, I'd rather you do that, to be honest.
Sometimes I feel like that's the only way my kids get vegetables. It's like they drown it in ranch. I'm like, well, good.
You got your veggies.
Yeah, you got your veggies. That's what I want.
Same for a grown husband with a picky eater palate. Same thing.
Yeah, Josh goes through an obscene amount of ranch in a week, and I'm like, you were the only one eating a family-sized ranch in 2 weeks.
It's like ranch on everything. Ranch. I love ranch.
Yes. But thank you for eating your carrots and salad.
Yeah, right. I think you bring up like, Bailey, I think you said like, I don't know who, somebody said it. You guys probably both said it, but how you'll notice like certain things start to not feel good in your body. I think that's something I really like about Metabolism Makeover and just working with clients in general and teaching them how their body works is suddenly you start to make food choices based off of what's going to make you feel good. We're not taking away all the starchy carb options at a fast food restaurant because we're dieting or we're trying to cut calories. You start making choices based on how do I want to feel in a couple hours? What am I doing for the rest of the day? Can I be sluggish? Can I feel like this? Like, can I afford this blood sugar roller coaster? And that's such a awesome epiphany that I see clients having where it's like, I made my food choices based off of how I wanted to feel instead of how many calories I had left. It's such a mind shift change.
Yeah.
It's reminding me too of like with that mindset shift, it's not necessarily fast food, but just sitting down to a restaurant, you can get into a mindset of like, oh, this is such a fun menu. There's so many good foods. And there's this, you kind of almost feel like I have to order all these things, kind of like a Last Supper mentality when it's like, I can have one, I mean, just depending, right? Like something that sounds really fun and delicious right now. And I'm still going to feel good, but I don't have to have everything right now in this moment. And so like, how can I find the balance of something I really want and it sounds really good, but I have permission always to have something else at a later time. Maybe I can have that one appetizer, next month when I come out with my girlfriends or whatever. And so taking that pressure away and focusing on, I still want to feel good and I'm allowed to feel good. Just because I'm at a restaurant or I'm in the drive-thru doesn't mean that has to all go out the window.
Right.
I always say too, just these foods, they are always available. And I think Megan had said this at one of her trainings or something. It's like birthday cake, where we go to a birthday party and the birthday cake is so good. So then we have like 3 or 4 pieces because it's a birthday party, it's birthday cake. But really, birthday cake is not scarce. Like we can go to Walmart and get a birthday cake at any day. We can say it's our birthday, We can have these foods at any type of day. Same thing at a restaurant. You can go back to these restaurants usually. I mean, if you're in another state, maybe a different story. But these types of foods, they're always going to be available. So we don't have to do every single thing at one time. Even just with working on our nutrition, on our health goals in general, we don't have to do every single thing perfectly either at one time.
Yeah, that is the secret, is giving yourself permission to have those foods whenever, because I feel like a lot of people feel out of control when they go to restaurants or a fast food place, like when they're around their favorite foods, because they demonize it. And it's almost like, well, I'm here, I'm doing it. I know I shouldn't be, but I'm already here. I'm already doing it. I'm already ordering. I'm going to go all out because I'm not going to do this again because I know I'm not supposed to. And then it's like, you feel like you have to just like that Last Supper mentality, get it all in now because this is so bad. I'm not going to do it again. I'm going to be better next week or next month, instead of being like, these foods are always here. I give myself permission to have them. If I want it, I can have it. Just when you have that conversation with yourself, instantly you start having better control around food because, okay, like these aren't bads. They're not off limits. I can come here. Like I told my clients when I was really into dieting, I craved chocolate cake. Like that was my thing. I'd go to a restaurant and I'd be like, oh my gosh, do they have chocolate cake? Do they have it? It's not anything I'd ever even want if I wasn't dieting, but I knew I wasn't supposed to have it dieting. So then I wanted it all the time. So that was like a first step I had to do is be like, I'm allowing myself to have dessert at restaurants if I want it. And most of the time I don't get it because I don't want it. But then if I want it, I get it and I eat a normal amount. I'm not sitting there gorging myself, walking out of there feeling horrible because I had to get every bite in because I knew I shouldn't have been doing it. It's like totally a mental thing.
I feel like if you find yourself needing fast food, convenience food, and you're like, I can't not go through the drive-thru and get French fries, like they're your kryptonite, why can't you have French fries at home? Why can't you quick cut up a potato, right? Drizzle it in some olive oil or avocado oil, salt, pepper, and air fry that puppy, right? Like,
yeah.
Delicious. Like, why can't we eat more potatoes on a regular basis? And it takes away that hype of, oh my gosh, I have to get French fries every time I go.
Bailey said, you can have birthday cake whenever you want. Yeah. It doesn't have to be a birthday. We can have cake. Yeah.
I'm just thinking about, too, the part of what do I truly want? Or is it a habit that you've kind of picked up on? For me, because, like talking about French fries and ketchup is like they always went together. But I realized like a few years ago, I don't really even like ketchup. It's not something I love. So I honestly just like plain French fries. And everyone looks at me as a dietitian like, oh, it's because you're a dietitian. You don't do sauces. You don't want to add the extra calories there. I'm like, no, it's just because I don't care. Like, it does not bother me to not have ketchup. I really just like fries by themselves. And even, having a dairy allergy, I used to eat ranch all the time because I liked it. But now, obviously, I don't eat ranch. And so I'm just used to it, I guess, too. And it's not something I really cared about. And sometimes I just want a good waffle fry.
I like mine in ranch.
Brianna, do you want to share your favorite, like, go-to fast food things?
Yes. So I'll do Chipotle first, and then I'll do Chick-fil-A. Hopefully that's not repeating because I have a feeling Ellie's going to do that too. But for Chipotle, I really like their salads because I really like their dressing. They have like an apple cider vinegar. I don't know what it is, but it's very good. So I get that. I like beans over the rice. So I do pinto beans. I'll do like double chicken, or I like their steak. And then I get fajita veggies. I get a little bit of the corn. And sometimes I'll get a little bit of sour cream on the side because the dressing is really good with the sour cream. But yeah, I like their salad. And then I like at Chick-fil-A, I do the grilled nuggets. And I always do 12 just because I like to kind of front load with that protein. And then I really like their kale side salad. I know not everywhere has it, but I like it. And then I always get a small fry. It's my favorite.
Okay, go to Chipotle bowl. Brown rice, black beans, chicken, fajita veggie, corn salsa, guac. Incredible. It's just the bomb. Okay. Chick-fil-A. I mean, I love their Cobb salad. I feel like it's so good, especially with the spicy chicken filet. So good. But I'll branch out here a little bit. My mom and my sister, we usually do lunch every Friday. And it's either Chick-fil-A or Wendy's. And Wendy's, I will do their chili. I think is so good. I feel like that's controversial because some people are like, I would never ever eat that. I think it's so good. I don't care where the meat comes from. Like, I think it's so good. So I'll do that usually with a small fry. And then I can't not go to Wendy's and not get a baby chocolate frosty. They make like the really small ones. Yeah. So good.
So I guess mine, I would say Chipotle. It's nice and close to my new office. I'll do chicken, fajita veggies, guacamole if I'm feeling crazy. Actually, usually I get guacamole. It's okay with the upcharge. I would say my second one, I'm really into McAllister's Deli right now. I'll do a sandwich and maybe a fruit cup. Sometimes their salad. Oh, it's just so good. I actually hate Chick-fil-A. Do not love it.
Daily.
We hate Chick-fil-A. I mean, I like it. At least you're honest about it.
I posted it one day on Instagram and I fired some people up because they're like, how can you hate Chick-fil-A? I'm like,
they were probably from Texas. They are Chick-fil-A and Whataburger, like they will die for it.
Yes. Anytime I've gone there, the service, which everyone raves about the service, I've never had great service. Like I felt like I was so rushed. And it's also complicated, I guess, for me because I have to check the dairy stuff because you never know what's going to be cooked in. And so that's just the pain in the butt. And then the last time I was there, I missed the little ordering person at the front. So I get to where like the drive-thru menu is, and on the menu it says, you should have ordered by now. I'm like, well, I didn't. So now I'm stuck in line, and I get to the window and they're like, oh, what'd you get? I'm like, nothing. I haven't even ordered yet.
Nothing. Help me.
They look at me like I'm this idiot. I was like, there was no one out there. So I go back around, and of course they're standing out there now, and it's the lunch rush. So then the line's very long. And I'm like, are you kidding me? And then I had issues with the ordering. And then for my dairy allergy, they don't tell you, like as you're ordering with the little people that are standing out there, if it has dairy or not. You have to wait till you get to the window, but then they're frustrated at the window because you're slowing down their speed, and they print off the entire ingredient list, which is like the length of a receipt. So I'm trying to read through this in 5 seconds as they're just staring at me. It's every time it's just a very overwhelming experience, and it gets me very anxious, and I get very crabby. And then I get the food, and I don't like their chicken, which is like the only thing, like the grilled chicken, and that's the only thing I can have. So it's a disaster. I do like their fruit cups, so that's
The fruit cups are real good. I like McAllister's too, though. I never know what to order there because there's so many options. But I agree, Ellie. I do like Wendy's chili too, and I don't care where the meat comes from, and that's how I feel about Taco Bell too. Like, ignorance is bliss. Just let me live. Okay, Taco Bell has been there for me.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you're broke and hungry, go to Taco Bell.
Unless you take Josh with you, then his meal, I'm not kidding, it was like $40 one night. Literally, he gets like 5 different things. I'm like, you ever heard of a dollar menu, boy? Like, just get a soft taco and be happy.
Just like stick to I'm such a creature of habit. Like, I will just stick to the same thing.
Oh yeah, 2 soft tacos, no cheese.
I haven't been to Taco Bell. I don't know. I have no idea when the last time was. But if I went today, I would definitely get a crunch wrap.
I haven't gone in a while because the town I live in, they just it's subpar, and it really lets me down. But we'll get a Supreme on a road trip.
That would be good. We went one night and they were literally just like out of food, and we were like, "What do you mean you don't have tacos? That Taco Bell."
Taco Bell.
Okay, this is very weird, but all right. There was another night, and our good old Troy Taco Bell. It was really late. Josh ordered a burrito and he opened it, and it had a bite taken out of it. And I was like,
no,
don't eat it. He's like, I'm so hungry. And he ate it. And I was like,
oh my God.
What is actually wrong with you? I was like, at least eat from the other end. I don't know. Nope, he ate it.
That's funny.
I still go back and I still get my soft tacos.
He's still alive, so
yeah, he survived. It's been like a year. He's still kicking it.
Everyone who lives around you is gonna, or like knows of Troy is gonna be like,
oh yeah,
the Troy Taco Bell.
Maybe someone just got hungry and forgot that they were eating their snack while they were packing our meal.
They wrapped up their snack instead.
It was
so they were probably pretty upset too.
Oh my gosh, that is so funny.
All right. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I hope you found some helpful tips. Next time you go to your fast food run, feel free to tag us. Let us know what you got and how these tips were helping you.
Yeah. And also, I mean, I know you haven't done it in a while, but if you go to the Metabolism Makeover Instagram page, I know Ellie has put on some what a dietitian orders at like different restaurants. So if you need some ideas, there are some listed there.
Any last bits of advice, Ellie?
I think
words of wisdom.
Words of wisdom. You can eat the fast food and it's okay. You can be goal supportive. You can live your life. We don't stress about it. That's my final words of wisdom.
Yeah.
I love it.
We stress about enough already, you know?
Those are great last words for the episode. Well, thank you so much for coming on. We love our Metabolism Makeover family.
Yeah. And let us know if you guys have any questions around this topic. Reach out to any of us. We'd be more than happy to help.
All right. Well, we will see you guys. We'll talk to you guys next week on our next episode. One day we're gonna have a really good outro. We're still working on it. So we'll see you next week.
Bye, guys.
Bye.